Did you manage to make some money on crypto this year, whether that's Bitcoin or Ethereum, and now you're wondering how you'll get taxed? Well, keep on watching my video today, which I'll be covering the basics of crypto taxes here in Canada. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabrielle, and for those who are new to my channel, I'm a tax manager at one of the big four accounting firms. And here on my channel, I like to talk about topics related to personal finance, career, and work-life balance. And today I'll be covering a topic on crypto taxes, which might be on the minds of a lot of people who manage to make money or lose money this year. Despite its crazy volatility right now in the crypto space, if you still invested at the beginning of this year, whether that's in Bitcoin or Ethereum, you still manage to make money. Bitcoin is still up 18% compared to its price as of January 1st, 2021, and Ethereum is still up 218% compared to January 1st. And if you had managed to sell earlier during its peak, then you probably made a lot more money, and now you're curious as to how you'll get taxed on that gain or income that you had made. So let me break it down for you as to how much taxes you may potentially owe at the end of 2021, so you could better prepare yourself and not be shocked when you are hit with a big tax bill. But before we start, let me just give you a little bit of background on how the Canadian Revenue Agency, or the CRA, views cryptocurrency. According to the CRA, they do not consider cryptocurrency to be a legal tender, which means that the courts don't recognize it as money. Rather, they view it as a digital representation of value and a medium of exchange between goods and services between people who agree to use it. From a tax perspective, the CRA views cryptocurrency as a form of commodity and any income from it as either business income or loss or capital gain or losses. The distinction between business income and capital gains are huge because business income is included in your income at 100%, whereas capital gains are only taxed at 50% of its value. I'll be going into a little bit more detail as to how you could distinguish your income between business income and capital gains, but before we start, you might be wondering, why can't I be investing in a TFSA or an RSP to shelter those gains that I made from buying and selling cryptocurrency? Well, as I mentioned before, financial institutions such as banks do not recognize cryptocurrency, and so they do not allow you to invest in cryptocurrency directly through an RSP or a TFSA. But a way around this is if you invest in securities that invest in cryptocurrencies such as an ETF. But I won't be going into too much detail about that today. If you guys are curious, I will post a link down below for you guys to research and to learn more about that. Now let's determine whether your income that you made from cryptocurrency is considered business income or capital gains. While holding crypto itself is not a taxable event, you are required to report to the CRA if you had disposed of any crypto. Dispositions basically mean that you have either sold or transferred your ownership in crypto in exchange for money, such as the Canadian dollar, other crypto or other altcoins, or even in exchange for goods and services. And when that disposition happens, you incur either income or loss, and that is categorized either into business income, which you're taxed at 100% of its value, or capital gains, which is only taxed at 50% of its value. So for example, if you made $100 in income, if it's categorized as business income, you're taxed on the full $100, whereas if it's categorized into capital gains, you're only taxed on $50. So obviously, it's more advantageous for your income to be categorized as capital gains because it would minimize your taxes, whereas the opposite is true for business losses or capital losses, because for business losses, you could actually offset other sources of income, such as other business income or even your employment income, whereas capital losses are only restricted to other capital gains. So you're probably wondering, is my income considered business income or is it considered capital gains? Whether it's business income or capital gains totally depends on the facts of the circumstances, as it could differ from person to person, and there's no set criteria that will give you a clear answer. However, I will give you a general idea as to where you might fall under. If you're just a casual buyer of crypto and your intention is to just hold it for investment, then most often than not, your income or loss will be considered capital gain or losses. However, if you're buying and selling crypto frequently, or you're holding it for short periods of time and your intention is to make profit, then your income or losses will most likely be considered business income or losses. Some examples of crypto businesses are crypto mining, crypto trading or dealing, and even crypto exchanges. Basically, if an outsider looks at what you're doing and it seems like you're operating a business, even if it's not your main source of income or your main job, it'll most likely be considered a business in the eyes of the CRA. Now that you have a general idea as to whether your income might be considered business income or capital gains, let's jump into how to calculate the taxes. There are two main numbers that you need in order to calculate the income, and that is the cost or the purchase price of the cryptocurrency, and there's the sale price or the fair market value of the cryptocurrency that you disposed of. You're actually required to keep track of all your crypto transactions for the past 6 years, and this might be relatively simple if you use a really good crypto exchange that keeps track of all this information for you, and all you do is export the information from time to time. Some of the information that you need to keep record of, and I just have it in front of me, is the date of the transactions, the receipts of purchase or transfer of crypto, the value of the crypto in Canadian dollars at the time of the transaction, the digital wallet records and crypto addresses, a description of the transaction and the other party, even if it just means their crypto address, the exchange records, and if you're operating a business and if you want to take some tax deductions, you could also keep record of accounting and legal costs as well as software costs related to managing your tax affairs. Now I'll be going over a very simple example as to how you could calculate your taxes. You could just scribble on the back of a napkin or a notepad, and this will give you an idea as to how big your tax liability would be so that you're not in for a surprise when it comes to tax season next year. Let's say that you have a normal 9-to-5 job where you make $70,000 per year and you work in British Columbia, Canada. Back in 2018, you bought some Ethereum for $1,000, and now come 2021, you managed to sell it at its all-time peak of $4,000. The income that you made from the disposition of Ethereum is $3,000, which is $4,000 the sales price of Ethereum minus the $1,000, which is the original cost that you bought the Ethereum for back in 2018. Considering that you make around $70,000 a year, the combined federal and BC marginal tax rate is 28.2%. If the sale of Ethereum is considered business income, then you'll be taxed on the full $3,000 times 28.2%, so your taxes related to that income is $846. Whereas if that income is considered capital gains, then you're only taxed on 50% of its value. So that is $3,000 times 50%, which is $1,500, times the marginal tax rate of 28.2%, and your tax liability would come down to $423. Now, if the opposite is true and you lost $3,000 on crypto, then $846 you could directly offset any tax liability against other sources of income such as employment income or other types of businesses that you may have. Whereas if it's considered capital losses, you could only offset capital gains that you might have. So that's a quick and easy way of calculating your potential tax liability on any crypto income that you made in the year so that you're better equipped and better prepared to pay your taxes in the following year when tax season comes along. You do want to be prepared and set aside those funds for your tax liabilities next year because you do not want to be in a situation where you have a tax bill and you already used up all your money. I hope you guys found my video useful today, and if you guys did, it would mean a lot to me if you guys could hit that like button down below as well as subscribe for more videos like this. Also, if you're interested in investing in crypto or just buying and selling crypto, then feel free to use my links down below, which I'll post in the description box. If you invest in Canada, then I personally like to use NDAX 10, which is a crypto exchange here in Canada. And if you sign up using my link down below, then you could get $10. Also, feel free to check out my blog, which goes into a bit more detail than this video. It has a bunch of other topics related to personal finance, career, and work-life balance, so check it out. Also, I just wanted to put it out there that this video does not constitute tax advice. You should obviously consult with your own tax advisor in terms of your own unique circumstances and what your tax liability will be based on that unique information. And this video is more general, and I referred a lot to the CRA guidance, which I'll also be posting down below in the description box if you want to learn more. Thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!